Imagine you're walking barefoot through tall grass. The morning sun has just begun to rise. Your tribe has been searching for food since dawn. Everything feels peaceful. Until you feel something sharp strike your ankle. You jump back. A snake disappears into the grass before anyone can react. Within minutes, the pain becomes unbearable. Your leg begins to swell. Your heart races. Every breath feels heavier than the last. Today, you'd call an ambulance. Doctors would identify the snake. You'd receive antivenom. And if treated quickly, you'd probably survive. But 20,000 years ago, none of that existed. There were no hospitals, no medicine, no emergency rooms. No one was coming to save you. For ancient humans, a venomous snake bite could end a life before sunset. So here's the mystery. If snakes have hunted alongside humans for hundreds of thousands of years, why didn't they wipe us out? How did our ancestors survive long enough to cross continents, build civilizations, and become the dominant species on Earth? The answer isn't hidden inside a magical plant. It isn't an ancient cure that modern science forgot. In fact, many ancient humans died from snake bites, but those who survived passed down something even more valuable than medicine: knowledge. Generation after generation, people began noticing patterns. Where snakes like to hide, which seasons made them more dangerous, what time of day they hunted, and which mistakes almost always ended in disaster. Long before humans learned how to treat snake bites, they learned something far more important: how to avoid them. Because sometimes, the greatest survival skill isn't knowing how to fight death, it's knowing how to never meet it in the first place. And that simple lesson may have saved more human lives than any medicine ever could. But avoiding snakes was far more difficult than it sounds, because ancient Earth belonged to them. Long before humans built cities, the Earth belonged to predators. Some hunted with speed, some hunted with strength. But snakes hunted differently. They didn't chase, they waited, perfectly still, hidden beneath fallen leaves, inside hollow logs, between rocks, or buried beneath warm sand. Most ancient humans never saw the snake that bit them, because by the time they noticed it, the attack had already happened. Venom wasn't designed to kill humans. It evolved to stop prey from escaping. A single bite could paralyze muscles, destroy blood cells, or shut down the nervous system. Different snakes use different weapons. Some attack the blood, others attack the brain. Some caused unbearable pain. Others were almost painless at first, making the danger even more terrifying. Without modern medicine, every passing minute mattered. But here's something surprising. Not every venomous bite was fatal. Many snakes controlled how much venom they injected. Sometimes, they released only a tiny amount. Scientists today call these dry bites or low venom bites. Other times, the snake had recently hunted and had less venom available. And sometimes, the victim simply reached help before the venom spread too far. Ancient humans didn't understand biology. They didn't know what venom was, but they noticed something just as important. People who stayed calm sometimes survived longer. People who ran in panic often became weaker much faster. Without realizing why, our ancestors had discovered one of the most important survival lessons. Movement spreads venom faster through the body. Fear could become just as dangerous as the bite itself. Over thousands of years, these observations became tribal knowledge. Parents taught their children where not to step. Hunters learned to scan every fallen log. Gatherers avoided reaching blindly into bushes. Slowly, humans stopped relying on luck and started relying on experience. But avoiding snakes was only half the battle, because eventually, someone was always bitten, and when that happened, every tribe faced the same terrifying question: what do we do now? Imagine someone in your tribe has just been bitten. Everyone knows the danger. No one knows if they'll survive. There are no doctors, no ambulances, no miracle cure waiting nearby. Only the knowledge your ancestors left behind. The first thing many tribes did was stop the victim from moving, not because they understood blood circulation, but because they had noticed something. The people who panicked, ran, or struggled often died much sooner. The ones who stayed still sometimes lived longer. Without realizing it, they had discovered a principle that modern medicine still recommends. Keeping the affected limb as still as possible can slow the spread of venom in some types of snake bites. Ancient humans also kept the victim close to the tribe. Leaving someone alone in the wilderness almost guaranteed death. The injured person needed warmth, water, protection from predators, and people to watch over them. Different cultures tried different remedies. Some placed cool mud on the wound. Others used herbs believed to reduce pain. Some made small cuts near the bite. Others tried to suck out the venom. Today, we know these methods don't remove enough venom to save a person's life, and some can even make the injury worse. But our ancestors weren't foolish. They were experimenting. Every generation learned from the last. The treatments that clearly failed were slowly abandoned. The observations that seemed to help were remembered and passed on. This wasn't magic. It was trial and error. The beginning of human learning. Over thousands of years, that knowledge became one of humanity's greatest survival tools. Not because every lesson was correct, but because every mistake taught something new. And perhaps the greatest lesson of all was simple. Respect the snake, because no matter how brave you were, nature was always stronger. But if ancient humans had no real cure, why are humans still here today, while millions of deadly snakes still share our world? The answer lies inside your own brain. Millions of years before humans invented medicine, nature was already teaching us how to survive. Not through books, not through science, but through evolution. Imagine walking through a dense prehistoric forest. Thousands of colors surround you. Leaves, branches, shadows. Everything blends together. Yet somehow, your eyes instantly notice something unusual. A strange pattern, a curved shape, a tiny movement hiding beneath the leaves. Before you even understand what you're seeing, your body reacts. Your heart beats faster. Your muscles freeze. That's not an accident. Scientists believe humans evolved an extraordinary ability to detect snakes faster than almost any other object in nature. Even babies, who have never seen a snake before, often pay more attention to snake-like shapes than many harmless animals. Some researchers believe this ancient fear helped our ancestors survive because the humans who spotted snakes first were more likely to stay alive, and the ones who didn't often never had the chance to pass on their genes. Generation after generation, our brains became better at recognizing danger. Not perfectly, but just enough. Even today, many people instinctively jump back from something that only looks like a snake. Sometimes it's just a stick. Sometimes it's only a rope. But your brain doesn't want to take that risk, because for hundreds of thousands of years, making a false alarm was far safer than making one fatal mistake. In a strange way, the fear you feel today may actually be a gift from your ancestors, a warning system built over countless generations. But perhaps the most incredible part of this story is that snakes didn't just shape human survival, they helped shape the human mind itself. Every cautious step, every careful glance into tall grass, every lesson passed from parent to child became part of the long journey that kept our species alive. Without realizing it, ancient humans weren't simply learning to avoid snakes. They were slowly becoming better survivors, and that ancient instinct still lives inside you today. Watch your step. It might just save your life.